Okay. I did get a lot of messages from you guys last night about Miss Raina being on Morbid's Live, and what did I think of it? This is no shade to her. I'm just speaking my mind because how she feels about me speaking my mind is her business. Any woman that raises a man to get up on the internet and speak to women the way he did, including the body language that he has with Gypsy, the way he's even been rude with her, like, and I'm not even defending her because really, if I was with Gypsy Rose Blanchard, I would probably be rude as hell too. But I wouldn't get on someone's app and do it on a live, right? That says a lot about how he was raised. She, over and over again, wanted to make sure she relayed to her audience that she's a very laid-back person, and his dad too, and she's a live and let live type of person. That should tell you her parenting style. When you're parenting sons, you don't want to raise your son to be another woman's problem. And she keeps saying he has a job, and whether he does or he doesn't, whatever, but he's still also freeloading off of Gypsy. We know that. Which is why he projects everybody else to freeload off of Gypsy. Exposing her isn't freeloading. Making content that took you time to create is not freeloading. Ken making blood money along with his murderous girlfriend, baby mama, whatever you want to call her, because I told y'all what I told y'all about them already, should tell y'all a lot. And the fact that his mom continues to say, oh, well, I wouldn't read the book because, I heard it was very graphic and very sexual, and I wouldn't want to read something like that. Miss Ma'am, she said she dedicated it to her daughter. That's your grandbaby. I would suggest you read that, because that will let you know who's raising your granddaughter, that she thought that was okay to dedicate to her. So if you want to stick your head in the sand and act like it's not happening, when you see your granddaughter out here and Gypsy's acting like she's in Target, and you know what they do in there, so don't be surprised. Stick your head in the sand all you want. This woman unalived her mom, had a shed in the back, had diapers, and a toddler bed. 1 + 1 + 2 is 4. So if you somehow came up with 8, something's not right. Or if you came up with 2, something's not right. Okay? And the fact that she claims that Gypsy's bullied by everyone else, that shows you how she doesn't hold herself accountable. She doesn't hold Ken accountable, and neither does she hold Gypsy. She's like, I'm just a live and let live type of person. Why doesn't Miss Raina talk about the blackface pages that they've made of me? Why doesn't Miss Raina talk about the pictures that they've posted all about me and said that they made me, and without Gypsy, I would be nobody? Why don't you talk about the fact that Gypsy messaged me trying to manipulate me? No, that's not important. Oh, it's she hates them. They are always the victim. And Miss Raina is just as diabolic as Ken and Gypsy. And I am convinced Ken is just as crazy as Gypsy is, and as worthless as Gypsy is. You can't tell me otherwise. I don't care what anybody says. And if your mom could come up there and try to act like everything's all good and she was just trying to come up here to speak, but she can't speak. And Ken blowing up the phone like he was, the bing, 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 sound like she was getting her ass whooped. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. Like, if that doesn't show you a form of controlling and narcissistic, and she sounded all frazzled, that's why that man's balding. Because he's so damn controlling and he can't control nobody. Gypsy truly is out of control. And the fact that no one holds her accountable is why things are the way it is. And when things go bad with her, when she gets off parole, and whatever she does to her baby, don't say nobody ever told you so. Again, she says, well, we don't even need to talk about the past. Let's just talk about right now. No, the past matters. History always matters. That's literally like saying you're driving to my house, from my house to Mexico. Your GPS is not working. And I say, oh, well, let me print out the directions. And you're like, nah, I'm just going to get in the car. So you're going to get in your car, drive to Mexico with no directions, and you don't know how to get there? You don't think you're just going to be driving around? Going nowhere? Make it make sense. Like, none of that made sense. I don't know about y'all, but I just thought that that was the craziest thing that she said. It sounded absolutely nuts to me. History provides context to what the future will be, which is why history has always and always will be so important. History will always repeat itself. And for anyone that says, let's just move past and not look at the back, can you go to college without them seeing your high school? Report cards, records, GPA? Can you go to law school without them seeing your GPA and your records? Can you get a job without them looking up your background? So why should you let anybody in your life without doing that? If a job requires you to do a background check, why should somebody be in your life without you knowing their past? Just think about that. If anywhere else looks at your history, that doesn't tell you or provides context. Back when I worked for the company that I worked for, and I was hiring and firing people, because the beauty industry is very small, I would always speak to their old bosses and see what they had to say, especially if it's people that I respect. The reason why I would do that is because it would give me insights into who I'm dealing with. Now, of course, not everything some people say will be true, but again, their history that you've had with them will give you some insight on how much you could trust. Everything in life goes back to history, down to a pregnancy. Because if nothing mattered, why would it matter the day you got pregnant? So for her to just say, oh, let's just move on and act like it didn't happen, I really just want people to understand how insane that sounds and how diabolic that sounds. To not want to know anybody's history and say that it doesn't matter. It all matters. It will never not matter. This woman was a HOE before she got locked up. She got locked up and was messaging over 250 men while she was in prison. She got with Ken. They broke up. She got with Ryan so she could get out on parole. She married him. She used him, cheated on him, lied on him, gets pregnant on him. And you think that tells you she changed? Is that lady... I don't know if she has comprehension skills. I don't know. Something's not right with her. Something's off. And anyone that doesn't think that Miss Raina's crazy is just as crazy as she is. They all project. They say that I've been lying from day one. Y'all do the math on your own. You don't need me to explain it. Because at this point, if I have to show you my resume, then you shouldn't be on this channel. It's just as simple. It's really just that simple. And also, Miss Raina, you ain't shit on another level. Because you have a daughter in Missouri that was getting her ass beat by her boyfriend or husband. She was asking you for help, but you wouldn't give it to her. But you were justifying Gypsy's behavior for murder. You were worried about Gypsy's baby, but you weren't worried about your grandkids. Why is it that you would defend her, but your very own daughter, you didn't? And I also wonder why most of your kids have been arrested on wild charges. And also, why does it seem to be a trend that they've all been on drugs at some point? Do you not think that has anything to do with your parenting? You know, you're a live and let live type of person. Okay? So you don't think, because you don't hold yourself accountable, you also don't hold your son accountable, which is why your son is out here the fool. And also, Miss Raina, did you not hear your son say he was driving? But he had also said he was drinking? Yeah, little Miss Aurora, so safe. I don't know. I don't care enough about your granddaughter to call CPS because that whole thing is a mess. And it's no offense to the baby. Like, you know, good luck to her. I hope it all works out. I personally am not calling CPS because the fact that the doctors, the hospital, you, Christy, Rod, all left her in hands of a murderer, y'all don't care. So I don't think the public should either. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could only care about people that care about their own. If you don't care, there's nothing else that I could do. You know what I'm saying? Just wish the best and keep it moving because it is what it is when it comes to that. But the fact that he straight up said he was drinking and then he also said he was driving in two different breaths, that should also tell you or indicate to you that that's not really a safe parent, right? Drinking and driving is illegal. And it's worse to even say it. You could tell he was drinking because he was very irate. But a drunk man never tells any tales, okay? But you raised him, and you're a live and let live type of person, and that's why he's the asshole he is today. So saying you are a live and let live type of person, and that's how you raise your son, and you think it's okay, that's odd. And also, I saw the video, some clips. Bree was on live calling me racial slurs, dragging me for filth, and y'all say I'm obsessed. She was on there for hours. Do you know these videos take me anywhere from 1 minute to 10 to 20 minutes? I just want you to keep that in mind because I actually have a lot going on. And while Ken says I have no life, how many times was I trying to do a live this week, but I had so much going on with my kids? Is little Kenyetta, Kenya, just salty that he can't have the life that he wants? You know, I know you want Steve Wood still, boo. but there's no need to be salty to me. But Miss Raina, I do think it's really important for you to speak about why Gypsy's baby is so important. And you keep trying to tell everybody it's not about the money. Why would you keep talking about it? Yeah, it definitely has something to do with the money. I'm pretty sure it does. And also, why does your granddaughter have to see a doctor once a week if something's not wrong? None of my kids ever had to see their pediatrician once a week. And both of my babies were NICU babies. My daughter was in the NICU for 3 days. My son was in the NICU for 11 to 12 weeks. He turns 4 tomorrow. So how does that make sense? You said your granddaughter had to see a doctor once a week. And also, and look, this could be a technicality. You said yet last night that they had to keep the birth close to the 40 weeks. Starlight asked you to repeat yourself, and you said something totally different, as in you caught yourself. Then another time, and I'm just saying, you know, I went to law school, so I pick up on small details and I listen to everything and analyze everything. At another time, you said that she was very alert, even when it came to the Christmas lights. Now, hey, you know, she was born on the 28th. You said she went home, you don't remember, but we're assuming 2 to 3 days later. Where were the Christmas lights? I mean, they may have still been up, but most people didn't have them up. I'm just asking for a friend. You know, people listen a lot more than you think they do. And I was actually doing 5 things while I was listening. So if I really sat down and went through that live again, I'm sure I'd pick up on some other things. Miss Raina. You know, the one thing about the truth is the story never changes. So if you're always telling the truth, you don't have to remember a lie. And a hit man always hollers. Okay, so tell Kendra that. Kenyetta, Kendra, a hit man don't holler. All right? You enjoy your weekend, love bug, but stick to the story, not the lies, because you're going to have to keep up with it, and it doesn't always work out, love bug.